Good evening, meteorologist Bob Acanfrio with today's tropical update for Tuesday, August 7th, 2012. Well, guys, we finally did it. We have Hurricane Ernesto. After, the little engine that could, we were like, will it happen? Is it going to happen? Oh, it looks like it's going to happen. No, it won't. Yes, it will. No, it won't. Well, it finally did today. Everything came together. Ernesto strengthened pretty rapidly. Not the most rapid we've ever seen, obviously, but really got itself together today and became a hurricane around 2 p.m. Eastern time, Eastern Daylight Time. So as of the 4 p.m. Central Daylight Time advisory, we have maximum sustained winds 80, winds west-northwest at 15. Hurricane hunters are, I think, probably in the system right about now or entering the system. And we should get a good idea here before landfall, which landfall looks like probably in the next 4 to 5 hours. Right around midnight Eastern Daylight Time, we will have landfall. And as I was talking about yesterday, it looks like landfall was going to be closer to Chetamel, which is down here. But as we see a lot of times with these systems, when they really start getting themselves together, it actually took a little lift and kind of relocated the center just to the north under the intense convection there, and it lifted the track just a little farther north. So probably going to be north of Chetamel now and south of Cozumel. Cozumel's up here. Cozumel is officially in a hurricane warning now. Cancun's still under that tropical storm warning. They will not get hurricane force winds with this system. So anybody that's vacationing out there, that's good news. This will come through. It's still going to be a rainy few days for you guys, but not as bad as it could be. So we had to shift the track just a slight bit north, but pretty much still the same. With that little shift in the track north means that there's a good chance Ernesto will come back as a hurricane before its second landfall, which now is looking like north of Veracruz. I was thinking more towards Veracruz, but now we're looking like north of Veracruz. So there we go. Pretty much just what the Euro's depicting here in the GFS on track. If we look at the satellite view here, you can see that was that relocation earlier. As it was really getting itself together this morning, kind of popped north a little bit, but in the last about 3 hours or so, we're back to west-northwest, and you can see real intense convection right near the center. Will we see a little eye peek out of here? I don't think so. It's probably not enough time, but boy, if this had another 12 to 18 hours, we'd probably be talking about a Category 2 system. It'll be interesting to see how close it does get to Category 2. We might see 90, 95 at landfall. It's very possible. We'll have to see what the hurricane hunters come through here in the next few hours here before landfall. And the visible satellite, again, there was that pop north, and now we're back to west-northwest. And the center's tucked right under this deepest convection now. So pretty bad weather here across the Yucatan Peninsula, and then this will pop back out of here. If we look back at the by tomorrow afternoon, we'll pop back out here in the Bay of Campeche here, extreme southern Gulf of Mexico, and then a chance to regenerate into a hurricane. And here's the radar out of Belize here, and this could definitely show you if anybody thinks this is all of a sudden, they saw that move to the north a little bit. If anybody thinks this is coming closer to the United States, it's not. And all you got to do is follow the center now. Just put the little pointer here, and you can see it's west-northwest now. Maybe even almost due west now in the last few frames, but these storms will wobble a little bit here and there, but it's definitely back to west-northwest, and this will come, here's Chetamel's right down here, so this is going to come in north of Chetamel. Again, probably in the next 4 to 6 hours here, this will come ashore here and make landfall. Model runs, not much change. Again, we had that little shift north, so we had to pop this just a little farther north, but again, we're going to be deep down here in the Bay of Campeche for a second landfall. Again, just north of Veracruz. And then looking at the Gulf of Mexico, what's ahead here, that upper low again stayed far enough away from our system to really give this beautiful breathing room right in here. Just perfect conditions. It just took Ernesto a little time to really get rid of that dry air. And if, as you can see in this area, with perfect conditions like these, with light wind shear and warm ocean temperatures, you could see what happens to these systems. If this could have been at least definitely a major hurricane. If it really got rid of that dry air 24 hours ago, we could have been looking at a major hurricane here, but it did not, and it's just starting now to peak just before landfall. All right, over the rest of the tropical Atlantic. So here's Ernesto. Little Florence kind of flared up today, but you could see what's coming here. Strong wind shear. This is 40, 50 knots out of the southwest, and you can see in the last few frames here, it's starting to get sheared off. Florence will not develop. It's done. You could just say goodbye to Florence here in a few. And definitely we won't be talking much about her. She'll get sheared to death. We have Invest 92L here. You know, it's there. Very elongated. Really not very well together here. I don't know. Again, conditions out ahead of it, not very favorable right now. Again, we have a lot of shear here near the islands. It's pretty dry and stable. It's not really a good, tight, low-pressure system with this. Doesn't look like it's going to develop either, and if it does try to develop, it's probably going to get, this trough is going to just stick it right out to sea anyway as well. So I'm not looking much towards development here with Invest 92L. What looks like will develop, and the models are already starting to get on board with this, is we've been watching this strong tropical wave here march across Africa. This is going to pop off the coast right about Friday, and late Thursday, Friday. And most of the models now are starting to develop this system near the Cape Verde Islands. So this will be the next one to watch. This could be one of those long trackers that we watch develop and see what happens. If you look at the Euro model here, this is courtesy of Weather Bell. And if we put this in motion here, you can see the Euro take by Friday morning. There it is off the African coast here. And then we move it along. Then it kind of loses it a little bit. And then by Tuesday, Wednesday, it starts bringing it back again. But by that time, we have this strong trough here across the East Coast. And we've been seeing this from time to time this season. Everybody thinks it's a definite that these systems are going to just keep coming towards the United States. But that is not the case with a lot of these systems. And we're going to see a strong trough here, and this could push this system out to sea. Again, long way off. Whether this, who knows if this will even develop or not, but this is what the Euro model is showing. GFS, same thing here. By Friday morning, we're starting to develop this area low pressure near the Cape Verde Islands. And then people just love to see these long range maps. So here we go. Here comes the GFS. Pretty much a western move here. And this is going to come off pretty north near the Cape Verdes, not south of the Cape Verdes. And a lot of times when these things come off near the Cape Verdes or just to the north, they tend to want to go out to sea. Definitely not, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to affect the islands. They're going to go north of the islands. And this looks like this one's going to be the case. Now, what happens to it in the end here? This is a long way off. How close does it get to the East Coast? Way down the road. This is going to change a million times. So just want to show you, a lot of people love watching these long-range models just to see what's out there. But this could be one of those long trackers that we watch, that comes north of the islands, and then we're like, all right, is it going to hit Bermuda? How far is it going to close? It's going to get to the East Coast. Is that trough going to push it? Could be one of those. So it'll be interesting to watch. Could be one of our first long trackers of the season. That's it for this evening. You have a good night, and we'll see you all tomorrow.